Hey everybody, it's Joe and Jasmine from House of Stereo.
Hi everybody.
We've got something pretty cool today, something that I have been anticipating for about 6 months. And it's here, it's beautiful, it sounds amazing, it works amazing. This is the Triangle Audio active speaker called the Capella. We're really excited. So Jasmine, tell me what's so special about these?
Well, first of all, just look at it. Look at this beautiful fit and finish.
Yep.
This is the Astral Blue, and it is referred to as a walnut burl essence. It also comes in brown nebula and dark star. You can probably pick up on the astrological theme going on here.
What they call white?
White, just white.
Okay.
I would have thought white dwarf, right?
Yeah,
Keep that theme going, but white it is. And the white is really cool, don't get me wrong, it's really cool, but it doesn't have this burl finish. It's the only one that's a solid color.
Okay. Yeah, so, and we'll show you in just a second, but the wood finish is, Triangle is really setting themselves apart from a lot of the audio companies right now. Because if you look at their 40th anniversary Comité, 40th anniversary Antal, or the Magellan line with the Quatuor, the cello, the duetto, they've really gone all out on their veneers. And this is a different animal entirely in terms of the style of veneer that it is, but it's absolutely beautiful. It's walnut? Is that what?
Walnut burl essence, that's how they refer to it.
Okay.
And it has that same, if you think of the other Triangle speakers, that gradient to the paint job where, you know, it goes back to just this solid color paint towards the back. It's really quite beautiful.
Yeah, the Zebrano. So
That's
the Zebrano, the Quatuor, Magellan Zebranos that we have on the floor have a fade to black. This is fade to blue. It's gorgeous. So this is an active speaker, and that means that the amplification and everything is built inside. Bi-amped, and so it's Class D architecture. It's pretty amazing. Do we want to get into that, or do we want to get into the drivers first?
Well, let's get into all of it actually. Let's start by taking this grill off. It's a magnetic grill, so it's really easy to get on and off, really simple. And you mentioned the Comités, and so these are essentially the same drivers that you'll find in the Comités.
Okay.
We have the anodized magnesium horn-loaded tweeter, and then this is 100% cellulose untreated mid-bass driver.
Okay.
And as you've already heard, the bass performance from here is pretty outstanding.
Yeah.
We have that REL T7 behind us, and I had to check on the first demo that Joe played for me to see if it was on, because I did think you were cheating. Yeah,
no. So what we have going on here is this metal stand here. So this holds the speaker up off the tabletop, the stand. The SO4 stands have been designed to work with the Capellas, but this metal stand here, which is kind of a rose gold design that we've seen in the Comités, we've seen in the other ones. This holds at about, I don't know, an inch, maybe a little more than an inch.
Maybe a little bit more, not quite 2 inches.
Because there's a port on the bottom that allows the air to fire down. You'd be forgiven for thinking that we had a subwoofer integrated into this system, but we don't. Now, the thing that's really cool about this model of Triangle, something that I appreciate over the AIO Twins, the LN01As, the Berea 03 Bluetooth, this has what I call it a breakout box or a connector box. So we're using Wisa technology here, and Wisa is a lossless, very low latency wireless connectivity device. And so what you do is this can live on your desktop because of its USB port. It could live under the TV with an audio return channel, HDMI, optical, etc. And this box communicates wirelessly with the speakers from across the room. In addition, you have two line level inputs as well. So you could run, if you have a turntable or phono stage, or just a single device that you want to analog out into this to get the sound over to your speakers on the other side of the room, that's easy. So I like that because historically you have this active pair of speakers, and yes, you have to plug each one into the wall, but then there was another cable. There was an optical cable, and you had to run something else to one of the speakers, and it might transmit to the other one wirelessly, but there was still yet another cable plugged into the speakers. That's not what is happening here. It's just 2 power cables. And, you know, Wisa technology is really interesting. They've been working on it for a long time. There were a number of technologies over the last 20 years where we were trying to get wireless audio, wireless video. Some did not pan out, but Wisa did. And it is conceivable, and there are probably products on the market right now, I'm just not aware of them, that would allow you to get multiple boxes and multiple pairs of speakers, and with an AV processor, analog out to, you know, if you had 4 boxes, you could drive 8 speakers. So you could have a 7.1 theater system, and all you have to do is plug each speaker in. Well, that's a heck of a lot better than, you know, I could think my theater room at home, there's cables everywhere. There's literally cables going diagonally across the room, and that's more my laziness. But
I think we all have that problem to a point.
yeah, audiophiles, yeah, that's just the way it goes. But anyhow, so Wisa is important. We're going to be seeing more from other companies dealing with Wisa. And as far as speakers go, this is one of the easiest setups that we've ever done. To connect it up the first time, there's a Capella app. We'll show it to you in just a second, but you go in, you set it up. It works with Chromecast, it works with AirPlay. If you have Tidal, Qobuz, Spotify, any of them on your phone, that app will see this speaker. You just hit play and it works.
Super easy, super easy. The other thing that's cool about the app is you can use your iPhone to use auto calibration. It just uses the microphone right out of the iPhone to help set the speaker to sound its best in your room. Okay. It's very simple and straightforward.
We should try that.
We should try it for sure.
Yeah.
The other thing you mentioned a little while ago was the biamping inside of the speaker. So each driver actually has its own circuit and its own 50-watt amplifier. Okay. So each speaker is 100 watts. So obviously if you have 2 of them, it's 2 times 100 watts. So plenty of power. Yeah. Plenty of power. We have a pretty big room that we're standing in here right now, and this fills this space with no problem.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is our front of house. So 20 by 20, and then we have a big opening over here and a big opening over there. So we have a lot of sound leakage. These speakers, they sound phenomenal in here. If we took them into a smaller room, and I'm thinking, you know, who's going to use this? If you need an active speaker solution, you don't have room for the electronics, you don't have the desire to have all of the electronics, but want really high quality audio, this is one of the answers. This is probably, in its category, the best under $5,000 active speaker that I've ever heard.
I even think about myself. You know, I have my listening room. Right. You know, I love my separate components, but you know, I don't want that in and I also am guilty of wanting a sound system in almost every one of my rooms. Yeah, that's fair. But I don't really want that stack in every single room. Right. Sometimes it's not feasible and it gets very expensive. So in something like a secondary room, like an office, or my bedroom is actually what I think of, because you know, I have to have a system in there as well. Yeah. Something like this is perfect for that. Yeah. I had, Lily, my older daughter, I had thought about getting a pair for her in her room. Where we'd put it, there's not enough room on the wall between her closets, so it's out, but it would have been perfect for that room. Let's talk about placement, actually, because these can sit right on a shelf. We have it right on a table here, but more ideal is actually using the speaker stands. Right. And the speaker stands are color matched to the speaker. And this sits perfectly on top so that, you know, the base port does not become flush with it. Obviously, we thought that through to make sure that it sits through. And
and so this rubber, and I thought, you know, how precision is this, that they got this. So the speaker actually nestles down into, flat on this, and this rubber here kind of guides that. So if it's not locked in, you're obviously going to be able to tell.
Having the bass port on the bottom lets us get it even closer to the wall.
Yeah.
Which is, again, in certain scenarios, is super ideal.
Right, right. I know a lot of people who, when it's time to listen to music, that the ritual is you go and you pull the speakers out from the wall because someone's going to squawk if you don't, whether your husband, your wife doesn't want them out. So a speaker that can live against the wall permanently, well, hell, it'd be useful at my house with the kids running around. So that's good. The Capella is what this is based off of, and I think we touched on that. What they're able to do with the DSP, what they're able to, so with that control and with that microphone, it's almost perfect DSP from what I've heard. It crosses over extremely well, no matter what music we've listened to from electronic singer, songwriter, any of that. It's just damned impressive. We might have to bleep that out.
Yeah, and you can. And you can go into the app, and you don't necessarily have to use the microphone. There's some manual things that you can do as well. You can manually increase and decrease the range for certain frequencies, just to really tailor that sound to exactly what you need for your listening ear and for your room.
And something that I didn't even think about until now, the remote. And remotes, they can either be good or bad remotes in this industry. You never know which one you're going to get. This is actually a very cool remote, and I don't know if with the lighting that we have here you'll be able to see, but this remote is an all-metal, very solid, hefty remote for a $3,000 pair of active speakers.
It's an awesome remote, for sure.
So and I think you'll be able to see it, but you have an absolute volume indicator here of about 10 lights, and so they light up as you go up in volume, so you have constant indicators there. And then the list of which input you're on the breakout box is also indicated here. Now, that's huge, and the reason why is I could think of a number of speaker companies who make active speakers. I don't know what input it's on at any given time. I usually cycle through the inputs until music starts playing. And so for me to know that this is right now listening, is sitting on the Wi-Fi, or line input, auxiliary, HDMI, optical 1, 2, and 3, coax, USB, Bluetooth, or Wi-Fi. So it's built right in. It is quite nice. The play pause button and the forward and reverse buttons for use with the app, I suppose. It's going to send the command. So that is probably part of the Wisa technology, where it is able to interact with the APIs of audio software. So that's really good. And of course, it goes dark. It times out. So we've had these about a week. No issues with the battery. Mute button on top, power button here. So Triangle, very good job on the remote.
Not only does it go dark, but as soon as you grab it, it knows you've got it in hand, so it lights up right away.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, and that's cool for like a dark room.
Oh, yeah. So, there we go.
Yep.
Nice.
Let's talk about the sound, because honestly, the sound is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
Fantastic. The soundstage was amazing. And again, this is, the street is right there.
Yep.
Not our best treated room. There's actually no treatment in here at all. And they sound amazing. They really did. They sounded beautiful. We have these Borisons right behind us. We played them the other day, and somebody thought that it was actually the Borisons that were playing and not the Triangles.
Yep.
And so that says something when you have this really big speaker in a room, and then you have a stand mount, and it has such big sound that people think it's not the smaller speaker.
And we haven't done the setup yet either. So we haven't...
We've done nothing.
So out of the box, they were confused as to which speaker was playing, and that was fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to play a little bit more with the software. I want to do a couple of listening videos. I think it's super important because the tweeter, the mid-range woofer, these are what you've come to expect from Triangle. So if you've heard the Capellas and heard how good that speaker is, then you know what this is going to sound like. It's going to sound a little bit better because with the active amplification inside, they can control the variables. They know where that crossover needs to be. They know exactly where things need to be. So they're really able to perfect this speaker. So at the $3,000 price point, I can't think of another speaker that I would rather have in the active world. And I think these are going to probably go home.
I agree with you.
So pick what color you want next.
I would go with this color, honestly. I think they all look awesome, don't get me wrong, but I'm a huge blue fan.
Yeah.
I love blue. And I don't know that I would pick blue in any speaker for my home.
Right.
You know, but this blue is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's very classy. It's very elegant looking.
Yep.
And it's cool at the same time, if classy and cool can go together.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Well, that's me.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Perfect example, Joe.
All right. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna play around with the software. If I can get it to play well on camera, we'll show you what that looks like. The Triangle Capella app looks great, and here's the delivery guy. So thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.